Good morning, guys. Danny here at Partey. Not that you would have known, but I was in the middle of filming this vid when UPS truck pulled up here, or excuse me, FedEx truck pulled up here to deliver this package. So starting all over again, and I was right up until probably the last 30 seconds of the video. But just wanted to touch on a couple of things. One, I did a video out here this morning at 8:28 from 18 feet away using the Optima HD 143X on the Sirius version of the Goppity Group screen. And honestly, it looked absolutely stellar. I'm going to hold that one in my pocket. I will, push it out over the next few days at some point in time whenever I feel like it's best. But I just wanted to make that known. From 18 feet away at 8:28 in the morning, not 6:20. I also want to touch on something I mentioned and shown. I had it down on the basketball court, the 180-inch screen that we were putting together, which really was a little less than 180 because I had a border around it. So I don't know what the actual, I didn't really measure, but it would have been somewhere in the 170 something range. But I lost a battle yesterday, guys. We had come to an agreement that we were going to, put the screen up permanently and try to use. Now, I had it on a mechanism with bars where you could actually take it off and roll the screen up, but it was pretty heavy. And you can imagine, whenever you get a piece of PVC that's that big, that it's going to have some weight to it. So after some deliberation, I conceded to my wife that it probably wasn't the best thing to go ahead and do a big heavy screen. So in the interim, until we figure out exactly what we're going to do there, pause just a sec. Sorry, car was coming by. So until we figure out what we're going to do there, we ordered a blow up screen. So I think she ordered the 160. It was from a company in Australia. And so we're, I'll have dimensions whenever we get it. I'll show everybody, but it's not the biggest blow up screen. And that was the second battle I lost because I wanted a 200 inch. And she just felt like that was over the top, which it is, right? That's the point. But anyway, I will say this, and I will give her credit for this. A 200 inch screen. If you've never painted a 200-inch screen, guys, it is a beast to do it well and do it right. It's just a big screen to try to coat. So anyway, long story short, we should have the blow-up screen. I think it's supposed to be delivered tomorrow, and we'll just kind of take it from there. If I have time this weekend, I definitely want to get it coated so that we can do a display with it. But more to come. We'll see. Next thing is that I was watching Kenneth Bird's video, the latest one I guess he had, and at the end of it, I'm up to about 33 incorrect statements. I'm not talking about inaccurate. I'm not talking about a little off. I'm talking about just totally wrong statements. And at the end of his last video, he had 4,200 lumens, I think, pushing through his glass door. And he stated that it should be distorting the image, but his screen's not allowing that, right? Okay, I don't know if it's a Harry Potter screen. Maybe it's a Hocus Pocus screen, but there's no magic in any screen that's going to coalesce photons. So if you have beams of light that get distorted, are you saying that your screen pulls them back together? And just say I would clarify that statement, because when you're looking at glass that you use on a home for a door or window, while not as optically clear as, say, a lens, camera lenses and things like that, at least your better camera lenses, they're still pretty clear, dude. Usually in the 90+%, clear. Some I've seen, as a matter of fact, on the windows that we have here, they were supposed to be up to 96 point something % clear. The only way that they're going to distort the image is if you get too thick. And when I say too thick, I'm talking you get into thickness, because then the more distance the light has to travel through that, the more lumens or photons you're going to lose, right? But on something that's less than an inch thick, for windows and things like that, it's not going to impede it. As a matter of fact, they make consoles that you can put USTs into and just have it project through a glass plate, a standard glass plate, to do your imaging, right? To do your projection. And that way you protect your UST. So, it's pretty commonplace for people to project through some form of glass. And if you think about it, if you're doing rear projection on a piece of plexiglass, and this is why I say, it doesn't make sense when he says these things, because you're projecting through a piece of plexiglass, which is less optically clear than glass. Okay. And are you saying you're distorting anybody who does that's distorting the image? So it just, once again, guys, it's dangerous whenever you've got somebody out there who touts themselves as a professional and makes these kind of statements off the cuff like this. Just because it makes some sort of common sense to him doesn't mean that it's fact. And, you'll find a lot of times that things that would make sense don't always hold true. They may make sense in your mind if you formulate some sort of concept in your mind, but that doesn't mean that they're true statements. And you should always research that stuff before you go out telling people in the public that this is what it is. Because for one, you look like an idiot. You end up looking foolish. And secondly, you can mislead people. And I think that's generally the intent, is to mislead people. So either one of two things: either you just don't know stuff, or you're intentionally trying to mislead people. So I'll let you guys decide that. I know the answer. But anyway, in that statement, he says he's getting into the outdoor screen business. I think we are too. As a matter of fact, I made a call to a company yesterday to get dimensions on the actual screen portion of these blow-ups, because the blow-up piece is really a frame, and then you just Velcro the screen on. For those of you guys who may have them or have seen them, you just kind of Velcro the frame on, or the screen on. So my brother-in-law Jason has extensive expertise and capability when it comes to sewing for leather and vinyl, for boat interiors, for car interiors, things like that. So that's something that would be right up our alley. It would just be a matter of making sure that we understand the specs, so that because think of it this way, it would be a replacement screen or a supplemental screen for any of those blow-up screens. So anybody who would own one, according to which size you own, you could order a supplemental screen, and that way you have your standard white that you would use if you want to somewhere, but then you could put on the Partey Goppity one and be able to use it that way. And that would carry you a lot further, especially in the earlier parts of the evening. Whenever it's not quite dark, you're going to get that really crisp sort of TV look, as opposed to just the bright white, almost washed out sort of projection. So long story short, I think we may get into that too. But more to come on that. We'll let you know. Otherwise, listen, you guys, it's Friday. You guys have a great weekend. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.